Welcome to the virtual public hearing to discuss improvements along the U.S. Route 67 corridor south of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. My name is David Wyman. I am an area engineer with the Southeast District of the Missouri Department of Transportation. Tim Pickett, the project manager, and I will be taking turns providing pertinent information about this project throughout the presentation. In order to provide some structure to this hearing, we have compiled an agenda that we will be following. Section 1 of the presentation will cover some of the history of the project and some discussion of the actions taken in the past that have helped us get to this point in project development. Section 2 will include an overview of how U.S. Route 67 in southern Butler County, Missouri is now federally designated as future I-57. Section 3 will provide a project overview of the improvements planned for the corridor, including details about currently funded projects. We will also briefly discuss the unfunded sections of the corridor and the actions that MoDOT is taking to prepare those areas for future work. Section 4 will focus the discussion on the details we have available for Phase 2 of the corridor. We will be able to discuss the alignment and the impacts to adjacent properties. Section 5 will focus on the timelines for the individual projects. We will discuss when MoDOT will be accepting contractor bids for the work, and we will provide an estimate on when the public should start to see work within the corridor taking place. Section 6 will allow for questions from the public. We currently have members of our project team ready and available to provide answers to your questions. Thank you again for your interest in this project. We hope that this virtual public hearing will be beneficial and informative. The work already completed on U.S. Route 67 in the late 90s and 2000s is considered a huge success. It is an excellent example of cooperation among local, state, and national entities. In the fall of 1997, MoDOT initiated the process of the development of an environmental impact statement. This document, which we refer to as the EIS, covered the entire corridor from Fredericktown in Madison County to a point that is 2 miles north of the Arkansas state line. This EIS provided a detailed inventory of all the resources identified within the corridor and also provided preferred alignments for the improved roadway. Through a funding partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Highway 67 Corporation, the Missouri Department of Transportation, and the City of Poplar Bluff, 50 miles of this corridor were improved to a 4-lane expressway. In August of 2011, a ribbon cutting celebrated the completion of this portion of the corridor. However, a significant portion of the corridor remained as a 2-lane highway, unfunded and without upgrades. In August of 2019, the City of Poplar Bluff passed a ballot measure that provided for monies collected through a 1/2 cent sales tax to be directed towards improvements to the corridor south of Poplar Bluff. In addition, Governor Mike Parson unveiled his Governor's Cost Share Plan, which included funding 50% of the construction costs for the first 2 miles of work south of Route 160. The City of Poplar Bluff, with the assistance of the Route 67 Corporation, has also applied for and were awarded monies through MoDOT's Cost Share Plan. During the project development process, there are several steps that must be taken before a single shovel of dirt can be moved. Once funding had been partially secured, MoDOT began working on a number of these steps. In December 2020, a value engineering study was completed. This process is an industry standard process where experts evaluate the project to determine if any scope changes would benefit the schedule, quality, or cost of the proposed improvement. In January 2021, the environmental impact statement that was originally completed 20 years prior was reevaluated. This reevaluation included identification of all the resources within the boundaries of the study and also provided a preferred alignment for the roadway expansion. In April 2021, we received an approved access justification report from the Federal Highway Administration. This approval allows the DOT to modify the Route 160 interchange. In 2016, the U.S. Congress passed a law that designated U.S. Route 67 from North Little Rock, Arkansas to Walnut Ridge, Arkansas as future I-57. This designation was expanded in 2018 when the U.S. Congress passed another law that designated the U.S. 67 corridor from Walnut Ridge, Arkansas to Poplar Bluff, Missouri. The law then designated the U.S. 60 corridor from Poplar Bluff, Missouri to Sikeston, Missouri as future I-57. We have received several questions regarding the detailed design of the project south of Poplar Bluff. Many people have asked why we are not allowing direct access to the new lanes, like we did in several locations of the corridor north of Poplar Bluff. The best answer is that this section of roadway has been federally designated as a future interstate highway. This designation requires the Department of Transportation to follow the design standards of an interstate freeway instead of the design standards of an expressway.
Let's take a quick overview. To upgrade US 67 to interstate standards from the existing 160-158 interchange to the Arkansas state line, the projects have been broken down into 5 phases. The first project, Phase 1A, will make improvements to the existing 160-158 interchange. The next 2 projects, Phase 1B and Phase 2, will build new 4-lane on new alignment west of the US 67, from south of 160-158 interchange to County Road 352. Phase 3 would build another 5.2 miles of 4-lane from County Road 352 to the south of Neelyville near County Road 272. There's an interchange planned at Neelyville and an overpass at County Road 350. Phase 4 would complete the project and connect up with our neighbors to the south. Phase 4 still needs to be environmentally screened. Currently, Phases 1A, 1B, and Phase 2 are funded for construction. Funding was made possible through Governor Parsons' cost share program and a ballot measure led by the Highway 67 Corporation. A virtual public hearing was held in August of 2021 and focused on Phases 1A and 1B. Phase 2 is the focus of tonight's public hearing and will improve a 2-mile section from County Road 338 to County Road 352. Let's take a closer look at Phase 2. Beginning at County Road 338 and extending 2 miles south to County Road 352, this will encompass Phase 2 of this project. The West Outer Road will not extend through this portion of the project. It will end at County Road 338. Existing 67 on the east side will become the East Outer Road and will continue on through this portion of the project. As we travel south, we come to Epps Ditch. It is at this location that an existing box culvert will need to be extended approximately 200 linear feet. Continuing further south, we come to Epps Ditch again. At this location, a box culvert will need to be extended approximately 200 linear feet. Moving further south, at County Road 340, on the west side of the road, the county road will dead end. On the east side of the road, the county road will be connected to existing 67, which will be the new east outer road. Moving parallel along the existing 67, we come to Harville Ditch. It is at this location we will need to build two single-span bridges, one for the northbound and one for the southbound. At County Road 352, the county road will dead end on the west side, and on the east side it will hook up to US 67, the new east outer road. It is at this location where we make the transition from 4-lane back down to 2-lane. An anticipated letting for Phase 2, along with Phase 1B, is late 2022, with construction to begin in 2023. This slide details some of the benefits. With an investment of taxpayer dollars, significant benefits should result. By looking at the proposed project, we can easily identify some of the benefits, both in short term and in long term. Improving the safety of the roadway is always the priority of any project. Our interstate highway system handles the highest level of traffic volume, but also has the lowest accident rates. Because these roadways have very stringent design and access management standards, they are able to handle this high volume of traffic in a manner that results in fewer traffic accidents. Innovative intersection designs like roundabouts reduce the conflict points within the intersection and as a result reduce the number of accidents at that location. The second benefit is improved efficiency within the roadway system. As traffic volumes continue to increase and forecasts predict the volume will double in 20 years, moving vehicles from point A to point B in an easy, efficient way is critical to the system as a whole. 4-lane highways provide very efficient travel. No longer should a single accident result in the closure of the entire corridor. There is a redundancy available on the roadway, and this redundancy keeps traffic moving along. Additionally, enhanced connectivity will allow for the easier transport of goods. The largest movement of freight within the Midwest extends from Chicago, Illinois, to Dallas, Texas. Currently, the majority of this freight moves along the I-57, I-55, and I-40 corridors. When these projects on future I-57 are completed, an alternate route would be available to help move freight through the Midwest. Here we see a projected timeline for the phases that are currently funded for construction. Phase 1A is scheduled to be put out to bid in May of 2022, with construction to begin as early as the summer of 2022. Phase 1B and Phase 2 are currently scheduled to be put out for bid in December of 2022, with construction to begin as early as January of 2023. A tentative completion date for Phase 1A is fall of 2023, and a tentative completion date for Phase 1B and 2 is fall of 2024.
As we move into the final portion of the public hearing, members of our project team are now going to be available to answer questions. We have two options that are available to you. Option 1 would involve questions that are submitted via the chat feature of the presentation. If you have any questions related to this project, please submit your question now, and we will try our best to provide you with an answer. The second option would involve the submittal of a question through the comment form included on the project website. All comments will be accepted through February 17, 2022 via the online form on the project website. That website is as follows: www.modot.org/future I-57. Thank you for your time and learning more about the expansion of U.S. Route 67, future I-57. Please stay tuned as we move into the Q&A portion of the program.